everyone. Good day, good day. I want to welcome you to Eleanor's Elite Radio, and I'm your host, Eleanor. Today we have a great show and also a very worthy cause, Brevard Rescue Mission. As always, I like to take this time to thank some very special people in my life. One being Miss Lisa Sue, who's been a great friend and a longtime supporter. She does so many wonderful things to bring people together. And if you're single, Miss Denise or Mr. John, and you're looking for the love of your life, please get with Miss Lisa Sue on Facebook. She offers great single gatherings and can help you find the love of your life. You can call her directly at 321-536-5668. I also want to take this time to thank Blake and Desiree Stewart of Stewart Law. These two people I've known for quite some time. They are the most dynamic, wonderful, loving couple, married, and they have this business. Very kind, very considerate. He has a new office. He's located at 7331 Park Place. He's Suite 3 in Melbourne, 32934. It's in the Sun Riviera area. The phone number to reach either Blake or Desiree is 321-541-6845, and they are two buildings right behind the SunTrust Bank on right off of Wickham and Murrell. All right, so now that that's out of the way, I would like to thank today Mr. John Autry and Miss Volunteer Coordinator Denise Daniel. Welcome. I'm happy to have you both with me.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. How serious we all just got. It wasn't like this a minute ago.
Well, I was a little nervous, Eleanor. I've been happily married now for 14 years. So if my wife's listening, Sharon, I love you.
She loves you.
Denise is married as well. So just want to get that out of the way.
All right. Okay. I would like to tell my listeners a little bit about Brevard Rescue Mission. It works. This is a program that permanently helps break the cycle of homelessness by providing families, women and children with housing, access to health care, transportation, education, nutrition, job training, and life skills in a safe, Christ-centered residential setting. The 12 to 24-month program is designed to lovingly transform families from dependency to self-sufficiency through daily accountability, personal responsibility, and goal advancement. Yeah?
Yes.
Good explanation?
Good. Great job.
Good. You know why? Why? Why is that so perfect what I said? I
thought because your memory is so sharp there. That's
Anyway, my first question is what I really would love to ask either of you. How does somebody get in touch with you? Does it have to be through a phone call? Is there a center? Because it's kind of hard for me to understand a homeless person being homeless, living either in their car or on the street. How can they get to you to get help that they need?
Denise, you want to answer that one?
Absolutely. 211 is one of the resources. They contact 211, and 211 will give them Brevard Rescue Mission's phone number.
Oh.
So that's where it starts. And it's usually a application process. So when they call our number, which is our intake line, that number is 505-8605, area code 321. They call that number. Once that number, we answer that line. We do the application. The application can take anywhere from a couple of days to a week to process. We do not have a waiting list. Of course, because the program is a long-term program, right. There's no waiting list. So we do a fabulous job of screening the applicants. Again, we're trying to assist. We're trying to help them. So It's important to make sure that they fit into what our parameters are as well.
Now, another question I have. I know you have one home in Rockledge. Do you have just one home, or you have more than that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And this is John Autry, Executive Director of Brevard Rescue Mission. We actually have two homes. Our largest facility is a 12-apartment facility in Melbourne, right off US 1. And then we have a house also in Rockledge as well. But we have exciting news. We're going to expand over 50% in our program in Melbourne as well, in conjunction with First Baptist Melbourne.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that.
Yes. So they are going to, will they be housing homeless families as well? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they saw the need in the community, so they actually purchased a house, and it's right across the street from First Baptist Melbourne.
Okay.
So, we don't have to absorb that cost, which is ideal for us. But we are actually going to run the program. So we're really excited because capacity is one of the main limitations we have in our program. So,
and how many families get to live in one home?
This is Denise Daniel. The Melbourne home, which we call Casa Carol, we house 9 families there.
Wow.
In the Rockledge facility, we house 3 families there. And I believe in the Melbourne, which is not yet up and running, that will be 6 families.
Yeah, it's interesting. The max is 16 heartbeats. And that's going to be kind of in South Melbourne, off Derry. Yeah. Up to 7 or 8 families can be housed
That's
in
a
that
big
facility.
help, isn't
Yes,
it?
It is. Oh, it's
amazing.
huge.
And you have nothing but volunteers that run these homes, correct?
That is correct.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
That's just outstanding.
Yeah.
It really is. I read a lot on the website, and it really was very educating. You had individual stories from individual people, people that you've helped. The lady who was the founder, Miss
Stacia Glavis.
Right. And I heard her story about Julia's house, and that was a beautiful story as well. It's just so much wonderful. I mean, it's very sad, but it's wonderful that we have people that are helping. Can you tell me, John, how you got involved with Brevard Rescue Mission?
Yeah, Denise mentioned we have a lot of partners. I'm scared to mention some of them because I'm sure I'll leave out
Of course.
some of the most important, but we're greatly supporting the community. I used to be the executive director at the South Brevard Sharing Center for 2 years, and that's how I got familiarized with Brevard Rescue Mission. And for me, what really pulled my heartstrings is that we truly are Christ-centered, and not just in name, but in practice. My heart is for ministry. I loved my time at the Sharing Center. But very often, sometimes you feel like you're kind of putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound.
Yes.
And the fact that we can help and serve these women and children long term, we can kind of, I like to say, reverse the curse or really change those generational patterns. Yes. Yeah, I like it too.
I like that.
Change those generational patterns of homelessness, poverty, and most importantly, hopelessness. Yeah. So it can take some time. So our program goes anywhere from 6 months up to 2 years.
Wow. Now, is there, I don't want to hold anybody to it, but is there like a success rate that you have? Do you go
ahead,
back
Denise,
and check
drop
up
the
on the
numbers
people,
there.
or
Let me tell you, and I see it every day because I'm actually stationed at one of the facilities, and the success rate right now is 92%. It is absolutely amazing.
that's amazing numbers.
It is.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Seeing the transformation of these families coming in, it's mind blowing. I cry when I see it.
Yeah.
So now, when you have, are there people that? So there's programs that are being implemented during the day, correct?
That is correct.
And then I guess dinner time comes around, and is there someone to cook dinner for them, or no? Everybody's self-sufficient.
Absolutely. Everyone at the Casa Carol in Melbourne, they have their own apartments, so they have their own keys.
Oh.
It's not non-communal living.
Okay.
So self-sufficiency, and that's what we're pretty much
That's what you're
teaching.
working towards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need to come for a. Have you been on a tour yet?
No,
Eleanor?
I've
Well,
never
we'll get you signed
Yes,
up for
I
a tour.
would love to come in
You will
as
love
a tour.
it.
I would
And
love
it's,
it.
It's actually 12 separate apartments.
Oh, I didn't
we
know
use
that.
2 downstairs for intake and for office space. So we have 9 separate. Is it 9 or 10
9.
separate apartments in Melbourne? And it really helps with the self-sufficiency because we don't want them to become dependent upon us.
Especially in a communal type of situation.
Right.
Things could maybe perhaps happen, or I don't know. I think that's such a much better
Absolutely.
idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's wonderful. I would love to have a tour one day.
You call
We will
me,
sign you up.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miss Denise, how did you get involved with Brevard Rescue Mission?
Well, I was the president of the Merritt Island Rotary Club.
Okay.
And I was at a meeting, and one lovely lady from Brevard Rescue Mission came in and was just speaking about Brevard Rescue Mission. I got really excited, and she said, "Why don't you come up for an interview?" And here I am.
And there you are.
I love it.
So how many years now have you been involved with Brevard
A
Rescue?
year and a half. It's actually a year and a half.
And I have to brag on Denise. She is not involved alone. She brings her whole family on board.
Yes.
Isn't that
So
that's
it's
the way
really
to
a
go.
family movement, which is
Yes.
really exciting.
I think that's even more important to show your
Absolutely.
children. This
Especially
is what
when
it's
you-
about.
When you have daughters, it's important for them to see, and I'm a mother, and I'm a mother first.
Right.
When you see children and helping these women with children, and you see the smile on these kids' face, it excites you.
Right.
They're smiling.
Right.
So I'm 100% in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to give a phone number for everyone out there who's listening. If you have access to any way to hear my station, the intake number for help or if you know somebody that needs help, a family, 321-505-8605. And if you're out there and you want to volunteer for a wonderful cause, please call 321-480-9100. Mr. Autry and Miss Denise told me today earlier that there are over 2,000 documented homeless children. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fill me in a little bit more. How did you find out? How do you get these numbers? I mean, how does it just come?
Well, we just recently had a point in time count, and it gets a little bit confusing, but the actual HUD definition of homeless, what we actually call chronic homeless, I think the count has actually gone down. There's a lot of great agencies that are doing great work here in Brevard County, and we collaborate with them. The Housing First initiative has been tremendous. But kind of what I call the reasonable definition of homeless, because chronic homelessness is people that have been on the street for a year or longer and literally living outside.
Right.
What we define as homelessness is someone that just doesn't have a place of their own.
Right.
So a lot of these women and children, some have been chronically homeless. And once again, we've cut that number way down in Brevard County, which is amazing. Brevard Homeless Coalition is doing a great job. A lot of different agencies collaborating, doing a great job. A lot of our women and children, they are homeless. Some of them have been living in their car, which HUD doesn't always define that as chronically homeless.
Right.
But the one thing I can't fathom are kids that move like every 1 or 2 days. You know, they can stay with friends 1 or 2 days, but they're
And then
moving
they have
all
to
the
go
time.
on. I know.
And, you know, I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. I'll be totally honest. I had my challenges. You know, I did okay in school, but I had my challenges. I couldn't imagine if I did not have that kind of stability. And if I was moving every couple of days, you know, a lot of our women and children, they might have had a roof under their head, but, you know, it was a violent situation, very unhealthy situation where drugs and alcohol were present. I just can't fathom trying to excel and trying to learn and not having that basic stability. So we're really proud that we can offer that.
And that's, you're so blessed for never having to experience
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I'm not speaking for you, but it must be, I can't imagine the devastation of, you know, being a woman and having a child or children and having to, I mean, it's a nasty world out there. It's a nasty place out there.
It's hard enough to be a parent
Absolutely.
with that roof over your head, right? I mean, there's so many challenges. You know, I was talking to my wife the other day. I couldn't imagine, you know, with smartphones, just, you know, you can fill in the blank what kind of trouble you can get in with that. You know, Facebook, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse simultaneously.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know, once again, without those basics that most of us took for granted growing up, you know, having a stable house or an apartment,
right.
You know, not worried, as we were talking about with the Children's Hunger Project, where that next meal is going to come from.
Right.
I can't fathom that. So it's exciting that Denise and I and the great staff that we have in volunteer base, that we can partner together and work together, collaborate to offer that basic stability and to once again break those generational curses.
Now, can we go through like what a typical day might be for one particular family?
Sure.
So do they get up? They have their own little apartment.
We do
which
encourage them to get up. We do. That's
All right.
no, it's a great question. Sorry.
And I will tell you that since I'm located at one of the at the apartment.
Go ahead.
At the apartment complex, the ladies are required to work or go to school.
Right.
Okay.
So we usually don't see them throughout the day.
Right.
So when we get to work in the morning, they're usually gone. So they have to get up, get the kids ready for school or get ready for daycare, and then they have to be off at work. Now, they have to check in with their case manager on a daily basis, which is a very, very strict program.
Right.
So the case managers, we have awesome case managers. And let me tell you, you don't
Shout
get
out to
anything.
Kanisha and Sarah.
Come
Fantastic.
on now.
Kim,
And
doing a great job.
Oh, yeah. They don't get anything by those ladies. They're awesome.
Yeah.
But they're wonderful women, just really love on these ladies and love on the children. And that's why we're successful, is because we have that support.
Right.
We absolutely have that support.
And now how do you get food for these women? Is it donated?
No, they provide their own food. A lot of these women, they're